Okay, I call to order this Tuesday, February 4th, Judicial and Public Safety Committee meeting. Can I get a roll call, please?
Chair Evans.
Here.
Member Childress. Member Desart. Member Eckhoff. Member Header. Member Honig.
Here.
Member Krajewski. Member Ozog. Member Schwarzy. Member Tornatori. Member Yu. Here. Member Zay.
Okay, thank you. And looks like we have a public comment. No? Oh, okay, no. Okay, no. Okay, no public comment. Chair remarks, I don't have chair remarks today. Just good morning, everybody. Can I get a motion to approve the minutes from the Tuesday, January 21st, 2025 meeting? Okay, we got a motion and a second. Any questions or comments on that? All in favor? Any opposed? Okay, the motion carries. Moving on to procurement requisitions. Can I get a motion to approve JPSP-8-25? Recommendation for the approval of a contract purchase order to CDW Government LLC for the purchase of IT office equipment and supplies for the Sheriff's Office for the period of December 1st, 2024 through November 30th, 2025 for a contract total not to exceed $300,000. Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any questions or comments? Member Krajewski and then Member Yu.
These are a little late again, December 1st.
Somebody from the Sheriff's Office.
Good morning, Deputy Chief Billady. This was, Member Krajewski, this was not our doing. We had never had a purchase order with CDW, but we were advised by procurement that we needed to do this because we purchased so much stuff from CDW. We've had a contract with them forever. So this is just a blanket purchase order for us to continue purchasing through CDW.
And the second one is the same one, but
Yes, sir.
can't they notify a little earlier before the contract starts?
Deputy Chief Billady, I'll take that for 2 seconds. Moving forward, that will be. I think this was identified as soon as it was identified. That's when we addressed it, but we will keep that in mind for future.
So it's a correction.
I'm still a little confused. So it was identified. They've had a contract forever, but yet they haven't done this. But now we're doing it, but we're backdating it.
I believe there were some new guidelines, and I think, and Deputy Chief Billady, if you can remind me, I believe a few things were already purchased before that December or on that December 1st or after timeline. That's why we went with that date.
Okay, because they bought it, but
yeah,
we've been doing this forever without it.
I believe, yeah, I believe there were some new guidelines, if I remember correctly.
New guidelines from
what
who?
I think it was the GAP standard, not GAP, GASB.
Valerie's looking up
GASB.
here.
Or here's Valerie. I didn't see her. Here we go. Go ahead.
So when we did pass the ordinance last year for elected officials, any purchases over $30,000 will now be presented to board. So that is one of the items. They also purchase it off of a co-op as well.
So did we notify them then like last spring or something? I mean, this is this.
So I
February.
believe there's also some invoices that is pending payment in December also for the sheriff's
No, I
office.
understand. So we bring in everything in 30,000. When do we let these people know? Because it's now way past December 1st.
So when we did the training back in October, we did do the training for all 3 levels, elected officials included. Then we also passed the ordinance at the end of November. So it was in the ordinance as well.
Okay, but they didn't know about it.
I cannot speak for them.
All right, well, we keep it. I mean, this comes into us a lot. We just kind of like to know why it happens because we've raised this issue many times over the years and not to have something we can vote on that starts in the future, not something that we're voting on that's already been.
I definitely understand. I believe it was probably an overlook, but also the auditors also it was looking at it as well. So
Well, a bunch of, but maybe we could have that in any time now. We have anything that's after the fact, we could have a write-up on why it happened.
I'll definitely make sure that I work with the departments
you.
on that
Okay.
as well.
Yeah, we will honor that request. Member Yu?
Thank you, Madam Chair. So my question actually has to do with the fact that it says this is for the purchase of IT office equipment and supplies, but then in the very next item, it's also for the purchase of IT office equipment and supplies. And I understand that there are some things that are cheaper from one vendor versus
Correct.
another, but there's no like list of what you guys
I
are
can definitely
actually
get the list
purchasing.
for you because there is some items that they've already purchased on a.
I
yes.
see. So
I would definitely.
is it just like the price comparison?
It's the price
that-
comparison.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
And,
You're welcome.
and if I may, it is a whole variety of things. We might buy a mouse and a keyboard from CDW, and that's going to go towards that $300,000. we might buy our Heartland camera systems that are in the jail. It's a whole different thing. So while there was information about this, we were not advised until just recently that we would have to do this for things that could be a mouse and a keyboard on one CDW purchase, or 5 screens to be put in the jail on a CDW purchase, or a new camera for Heartland. So this was new to us too. And when Valerie and her staff are phenomenal, and she's done a great job with us, and we work very well together. So we're just trying to tie it up and work with procurement as best as we can.
Okay, thank you very much.
Member Zay?
Thank you, Madam Chair. What it sounds like to me is that they were making purchases for everyday items, and now because it went over that 30,000 threshold, then they had to do a contract.
That is correct. They would
So-
have to do a purchase
Okay,
order.
so they might have been buying, like you said, mouses and keypads and other things, but after it went over that 30,000, then it hit that threshold. Now you notified them that they had to then now make a contract with CDW for this.
Correct.
Even though they've been buying all this.
They've
every
been buying
month
off of
for-
the co-op
for all the
before,
time.
but they have reached over the 30,000, and it is a state statute as well.
Okay, thank you.
Member Krajewski?
It just seems that once you put the policy in place, we should have, on December 1st, we should have had all these in front of us. I mean, we know which ones, based on last year's buying, anything that would have exceeded $30,000. I mean, we do this with animal services, when we do our population fund, we don't know how much they're gonna have, and then we'll put that on the next year, to what we spent the year before. But clearly, if we're spending 300,000 or 500,000, for a year.
I don't know that we're spending that much, right?
Well, we said not to exceed.
Not to
Yes,
exceed,
not to
So
exceed.
We're
But-
approximately, we're spending a lot of money on these things because we put a contract to up to 300 or up to 500. Means these things definitely were way over the $30,000 threshold. Meaning
That is correct.
Yeah, meaning that come budget time in December 1st, we should have had all these.
But didn't it used to, this is almost like Amazon, right? So.
Correct.
So
Yes.
But this
if
should
you
all.
buy
But I
something
think
for 20,000.
But we put a policy in that says anything over 30,000 now has to have the contract with the elected officials. We clearly know that these are over $30,000 from the sheriff's office. They should have, when they put the policy in, known that these things should all been in front of us prior to December 1, when these contracts took place.
I cannot speak for them, but I can always speak for procurement, that if it is over 30,000, we will be monitoring.
Yeah, I understand. These are well over it, and they should have been somewhere. They should, when the policy got put in place, they should have been in front of us way before December 1st.
Okay, and we got a motion and a second. Any other comments or questions? Okay, all in favor? Any opposed? Okay, the motion carries. Moving on to, can I get a motion to approve JPSP 9-25? Recommendation for the approval of a contract purchase order to Heartland Business Systems for the purchase of IT office equipment and supplies for the Sheriff's Office for the period of December 1st, 2024 through November 30th, 2025, for a contract total not to exceed $510,000. Any questions or comments? This is very similar to the other one. Okay, all in favor? Any opposed? Okay, the motion carries. Can I get a motion to approve JPSP 10-25? Recommendation for the approval of a contract purchase order to Polaris Pharmacy Service of Warrington LLC DBA Contract Pharmacy Services to provide pharmaceutical services and supplies for detainees. This is for the Sheriff's Office. We got a motion. Did we get a second? Okay, any questions or comments? Okay, all in favor? Any opposed? Okay, the motion carries. Can I get a motion to approve JPSP 12-25? Recommendation for the approval of a contract purchase order to Allied Universal Technology Services for maintenance and repair of security systems, repair and replace cameras, iStars, DVRs, and access control systems around the county campus for the period of February 12th, 2025 through November 30th, 2026, for a contract total not to exceed $244,880. Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any questions or comments on that? Okay, all in favor? Any opposed? Okay, the motion carries. Moving on to budget transfers. Can I get a motion to approve item 25-423? Transfer of funds from postage and postal charges to IT equipment capital lease in the amount of $192 to cover shortage for the IT equipment line. Okay, motion and a second. Any discussion on that? All in favor? Any opposed? Okay, the motion carries. Do we have any old business? Any new business? Okay, Member Desart?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just wanted to wish my deepest condolences to the DuPage County Sheriff's Office on the loss of Deputy Greg Turpin. Wishing those condolences to his family and friends as well. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That is very heartbreaking. We do pass on our condolences to his family. Any other questions or comments? Okay, motion to adjourn? Okay, all in favor? Any opposed? Okay, motion, we are adjourned.